Like, this is all of our paraphernalia for raising these birds, and they're going to have expansions on the floor space that we give them. Like, we'll end up using this entire side of this building for probably just this group of birds, and then we'll probably remove this wall and let the 70 some yellow fluff birds that are meat birds there, they'll have this whole space. So that's probably how things are going to happen. So at some point we'll be putting heat lamps over in that area, but we keep our feed handy, extra feeders, extra waters, bedding, the waters and feeders that we will move the birds into, fans if it gets to a point where like when they are needing, say when they're needing it 70 degrees, if it's 98 degrees, we're going to have to do something about that. So wanted to just take a look from this angle and actually see. I'm going to have them get up and move around. I'm just tapping my hand on the wall. We just want to see them. We just want to see them move around a little bit. Okay. We'll come over here and do the same thing. You helping me in the barn? Thanks, guys. Same thing over here. We just want to see them moving around a little bit. Oh, I know. The thing finally came back to me that I wanted to tell y'all. So we'll probably end up ending on it. Look at how cute they are. Look at how cute they are. They really are cute. And we kind of joke that with meat birds, like they're only cute for about 8 or 9 days. Because once they start feathering in and growing, they look awkward and they don't feather in quickly, and they don't even end up feathering in on their underbelly hardly at all. But you can see how, one thing I want to point out, this is what I was saying, I was trying to think of what I wanted to tell y'all. So if they're on the outside of the feeder tray at this stage, 2 days old, they have to stand up to eat. Now if they get in the feeder tray, they can lay down and eat. But ideally, every age and stage, we always really want meat birds standing up when they're eating, standing up when they're drinking. Not so much because of digestion, more because we want to keep legs strong. We want to keep their legs strong. And one way we can do that is by more or less leveraging like their own weight and some weight bearing, gentle weight bearing exercise when they're eating and when they're drinking. Because meat birds particularly do spend a considerable amount of time wanting to eat, and as long as the food is easy access, they're going to go eat quite a bit. So if we can leverage that time that they're at the food into time that they're also spending standing on their legs, they're gradually over the course of their whole development doing gentle weight bearing exercise of their own weight on their own legs, and that helps keep their legs strong throughout production, because their legs need to be strong, because they're going to go, you know, from the size of an egg to maybe like an 8 to 10 pound chicken, on a 8 to 10 pound live chicken in potentially 6 or 7 weeks. So that's a lot of growth in a short amount of time, and those legs have to hold that bird up the whole time for them to have mobility in order to get to food and water. A lot of times the downfall for a meat bird, what are we going to lose our meat birds to prior to them successfully making it through production? A lot of time what's going to get a meat bird is not going to be disease, not going to be illness, not going to be injury. It's simply going to be lack of mobility. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that heat lamp closest, the little bird like practically right under it, was just off balance and somewhat on its back. I was almost going to go in and help it stand upright because it had lost its balance. And if they get flipped over on their backs, any kind of chicks, and it even happens to older meat birds, they can't necessarily get turned right side up. So at any rate, but we was talking about the legs. We want to keep them utilizing their legs through their growth so that they have a leg to stand on at the end of production. Because if we're going to have a problem with meat birds making it through production, most of the time for us in our management system, it's not going to be illness, it's not going to be injury, it's going to be if they didn't keep their legs strong throughout production and they get into a situation of lack of mobility, then they're not able to get to food, not able to get to water. Well, you know what happens if you can't get to food and water: malnourishment and dehydration. So, you know, yes, you can compensate for that by isolating the bird, making its quarters where, you know, it has to be near its food and its water, like within reach of just reaching its neck out. But we want to keep the bird's legs strong. So one thing we can do is try to keep them standing up when they're eating and drinking. And see what's going on down here. Already, these birds are big enough that just having that feeder resting on the floor is low enough that they find it comfortable to just sit down, perched at the feeder, and eat sitting down. So what we'll do, see, we want them over at the red feeder, 2 of them standing up there to eat. The one is laying down, but the 2 are standing up. That's what we want. So what we'll end up doing, just like we put a riser under the water, we'll put risers under the feeders. And that will raise the height of the feeder, so the birds will have to stand up to eat, just like that, which is exactly what we want. So thanks again so much for joining us. Going to let the recording go up to 21 minutes and try to just keep it on some of the chicks here. If y'all have any questions, put them in the comments. We're happy to answer them. Our family here, the 5 of us, are more or less like the stakeholders, shareholders in our little poultry farm. So as long as everybody's on board to keep putting the work in that it takes, we're going to keep raising them. We're definitely in the game for 2025.